everybody, to the Road Warrior Show. I am your host, Nhat Pham, and alongside me, of course, this Digital Knight, Sean Francis.
Good morning. This is a show for all you entrepreneurs, salespeople, and professionals. Give you tips, tricks, and of course, technology to keep you more successful in the air and on the road.
Happy Monday, November 4th, 2013 for you.
It's already November.
Yeah, less than 2 months till Christmas.
I don't even want to think about that yet.
Unless
Unless you're gonna start talking about gifts, you know, the 25 and 50 and 100 and all that stuff under. I'm all about that.
Yeah, we're not right there yet. I'm thinking you got to do some of your homework. I got to do my homework.
Yes.
We got to do some homework.
Yeah, unfortunately we do.
So,
Unfortunately we do.
You know, there's a couple that will probably stay in those top fives, particularly in that top, the under $25 one.
Yeah.
So stay tuned in for that in the coming weeks for the stocking stuffers. But one, I think it's going to be interesting if it loses its number one spot or not.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. We'll look
You
forward
want
to
to
see
stay tuned
that.
for that. And, you know, a lot of you, of course, this is the Road Warrior Show, a lot of you travel, so we want to have all these great stocking stuffers and gifts and so forth for you. The Road Warrior in your life or for yourself.
Yeah.
Whatever that case may be. Got a great show for you today. We're going to talk about, in the news, how some things are changing in the FAA.
Okay.
Some things on Facebook, of course, Instagram, all your favorites, Sean, Twitter, Vine. You're going to talk a little bit Google Glass.
Yes.
And we are a big fan of wearable technology.
Yes.
So we'll always include a segment on that. I'm excited to see what's going to happen in 2014 with some of those things.
Absolutely.
And how you accessorize all these other stuff. Some of it's going back into the office, not as much on the road, but there'll be some cool things there. We're going to talk about some cool apps as well.
Okay.
And also some really critical thing in your free segment of the day, brought to you by the SuccessWorks social media dashboard. I'm saying that 3 times real fast.
Yeah.
About how to manage your Twitter following.
Okay.
So I've been trying to clean up some stuff. So I had to dig in my archives of what's there, and some of those tools aren't there anymore. I had to find some new ones, and I'll share some of those with you here at the end of the show. So you definitely don't want to miss that.
Awesome.
So how was your weekend, Sean?
It was good. Got to go out and spend a Saturday, hang out with some buddies of mine. One's getting married, so kind of had a little bachelor party, you know.
Uh-oh.
It
wasn't like hangover.
No.
You didn't lose him, did you?
We did a lot of talk, a lot of talk about, but no heavy action, down there. I think we went out to race some go-karts, went to the movies.
Okay.
So we did a bunch of, just hanging out, being guy stuff, which was pretty cool. And then yesterday I got to just spend a little bit of time with the family, a little downtime action. Don't get enough of that. How about you?
Very similar. Worked out really hard. It's been a while. I gotta figure out. They need wearable technology that's not so cumbersome to wear, as far as a lot of it syncs up to your phone now. But the heart rate monitors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I must have burned 1,200 calories just in like a 3-hour period. I went beyond.
That's a lot.
Yeah. I had a boot camp, and then. Some guys we met in boot camp, they wanted to play some basketball, and I stayed an extra 45 minutes playing basketball, which I shouldn't have done, because I'm stronger, I'm healthier, my bones definitely feel it afterwards.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But it was good. I know I still got it. I just need more recovery. That's the deal.
That's age, man. It'll get you.
Yeah. And then did some. Went to a client's little party. Kids had a chance to do their Halloween thing again. And,
cool.
Yeah, I mean, they're Instagramming it up, man. I gotta talk with y'all more about Instagram. All the kids just love their Instagram.
They're all over that, man.
So, but before you can actually have those pictures and everything, you gotta have devices.
Yes.
Sean, let's get into our first segment. Some new things in the news about the FAA and what they allow for electronic devices. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, for those of you who travel, and one of the biggest, probably complaints about traveling is that, you get on the plane and you sit there and, you're sitting there reading a book, whether it's, a book or a Kindle, whatever it is, but, when they're getting ready to take off, they always make you turn everything off. You know,
Yeah.
anything that has a power button, they say turn it off. You know, and if you ever listen to them now, they're starting to try and list everything specific. You know, whether you have a Kindle, you know, a Nook. I mean, they're going down the list of everything. You got to turn everything off, and that's kind of a pain because you're sitting here, especially if you just got like a Kindle e-reader. You're like,
yeah.
there's nothing on here, and you know, and they're like, you got to turn it off, and it's like it's using e-ink. It's, you know, what you see on the page. It's not even on, but they still make you turn that stuff off. Well, the FAA has given a new ruling that's going to allow electronic devices to be on during takeoff and things like that, and landing.
Okay.
So it's going to be interesting to see how this rolls out. Now, this is still going to have some limitations. For example, you're still not going to be able to talk on the phone at all during a flight, and then you're not going to be able to use Wi-Fi under 10,000 feet. But the whole point of it is that, you know, when you do have, you know, if you do have some type of, you know, iPad device or tablet, you can actually have that on and be utilizing that. You know, even if it's just playing a game or, you know, something like that. As long as you have it in what's called airplane mode, you know, or where it has.
So your wireless or your cellular is off.
Cellular's turned off and the wireless is turned off. You'll be able to do that. And now, just because the FAA has already passed this doesn't mean that, you know, you got a flight tomorrow, you're going to instantly start utilizing this. Because now the airline's going to have to start kind of going through it from their side. They've got testing and things like that they need to do and prove that whatever particular whatever you're going to be allowing to do, that it's not going to interfere with their equipment. But we already know that it doesn't. I don't know if you've known this, but for years the actual pilots have already been using iPads up in the cockpit area.
Yeah.
For a lot of their flight plans and things like that, and they have them on the whole time. Now, the difference is that if there was ever a problem, they can turn theirs off. If there was any communications issues where it would be hard to kind of have an airplane full of 200 people turn all theirs off at the same time.
Right.
But they know that, at least right now, that it doesn't interfere with stuff. Now, one of the things you would be able to do is send SMS text messages if you can do it through Wi-Fi.
Oh, that's pretty
Now,
cool.
The only carrier who currently does that is T-Mobile. So if you're on T-Mobile and you get on the Wi-Fi, then you can go ahead and still do SMS text messages. But other than that, you know, the whole point of it is that they're starting to realize that, you know, what they've known for years, the FAA is now finally approving where you're going to be allowed to use certain electronic devices during takeoff and landing, which again I think is going to make a lot of people a lot happier.
Very cool. So, you know, we have all these devices going on. What's, you know, some of the things that I've been looking at, you know, of course, we talked about the Google Watch, and you know, unfortunately, it's not doing very well for Samsung. A little high price point, like I mentioned before, at $299. But I think some of the Google devices that's going to happen will take off, especially in the next couple of years as the price starts to drop on those things. Tell us a little bit about the Google glasses, Sean.
Well, I don't know if you heard this, but you remember back in, I think it was February, when Google started allowing people to, you know, connect onto their site and, you know, say what I would do if I had Google Glass.
Right.
And they put out about 10,000 of these units to people, whoever, you know, submitted, and you had to pay $1,500. I mean, this wasn't cheap, and because you got, they selected you didn't mean you got a free pair. You got selected to
pay
$1,500.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So people were doing it. Well, they just recently actually opened this up to allow, like, let's say that I had my Google Glass, I can now invite 3 friends to be able to become part of that as well, which is really cool. And I didn't even mention that part to you, which is, so like, let's say that you've got somebody who's already been authorized and is on Google Glass. They have now given like 3 vouchers where they can invite 3 friends to be able to get on and purchase the Google Glass through their Explorer Edition. What's funny is you're seeing these now spread all over eBay where people are selling these vouchers.
I see that.
I've seen them up as high as, like, you know, $1,500 to buy the voucher.
Oh, that's insane.
Then you're going to spend another $1,500 to buy the glass, the Google Glass. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm good. As much as I love electronics, and of course, you know, I'm an Apple guy, so I'm on.
Yeah.
So there's eyeglasses.
Well, and supposedly, and the people who are on the original version of the Google Explorer glasses, they're going to be getting a free upgrade to the new version 2.0, which they're actually changing up a little bit. They were using the bone induction, you know, for the sound.
I like that.
They're changing it. That's what they were using it. They're actually now adding an earpiece in there so you get a little bit better communication to hear it, as well as they're also retrofitting them that you can now add in prescription lenses too.
Really?
Yes.
That is really neat.
Yeah, so they're going to be the people who are currently on the Google Glass Explorer Edition. They're going to be getting a free upgrade, and then the new people are going to be able to buy into it, which is going to be really cool. But now here's the big thing. So first ticket has been issued for Google Glass, wearing Google Glass while driving. To you know, and I really hate kind of saying this, but
really,
it was a woman. Don't send the messenger out and just, pass it along.
Don't shoot the
There's
messenger, yeah, absolutely.
woman in California who got a ticket for wearing her Google Glass while driving. She was
You can't wear it?
Well, she was pulled over. She was pulled over for speeding, and then when the officer came up, he started, kind of like, giving the third degree on the Google Glass, and basically he wrote her up for speeding and having a video screen that is visible while operating a motor vehicle.
Wow.
A video screen that is visible while operating a motor vehicle. That's what it was written up for. Now,
Okay.
she has, obviously she's someone who's in technology. She's posting the blogs. She's getting a bunch of lawyers involved,
Oh,
and start
nice.
helping her from that side. So I'm really interested to see how this rolls out because this could be a precedence on, the whole thing with Google Glass. Now, she wasn't even using them, when she was driving, but the fact that she had them on is what they're saying is that, that was the problem. So it's going to be, I'm really going to be following this one because this is going to be a precedence for how these devices are used and, and I think whether people are going to be using them or not and how they would purchase them if they're going to be illegal to wear while you're driving,
Yeah.
So, and again, I'm not saying that it's okay to use them while you're driving, but again, it's the whole concept of, of some of that stuff. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that whole thing rolls out.
Yeah, well, my thing is, I think they need to change the design a little bit. I think they need to shift the camera maybe to the middle.
I'm sure there's going to be some. I'm
Balance.
sure there's definitely going to be some changes, in the versions that come and things like that. So I'm not sure exactly how. I think a lot of it is consumer based as to what the consumer are saying, what they would like to see, and I think how some of the laws are going to play into it, just like what you're saying. As some of these laws start, going against them, they're going to find ways around that. How can we still have this product and have it not, interfere with the legal requirements?
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, one of the things that I wish they would tie in more quickly is the whole concept of gesture control. And we talked a while back with a device that finally released in the last month or so, Leap Motion.
We talked about this, wasn't it like,
Yeah.
like last year or something even? Maybe?
Yeah, we talked about last year. It was supposed to release in the spring, but everything from SDK developer kits to troubleshooting, making sure it rolls out well, it got a little delayed. And for folks who didn't get a chance to watch that episode, real quickly, you're doing a lot of, again, gesture control, very a la, what's that movie? It slips my mind now. Minority Report, right? Without
Yes.
the gloves, and you can do that. Now you are confined in about a 2x3 space that you have to wave it above this little what the heck is it called? Little controller device here, and still though I'm digging it. It's a little bit more precise though.
Hey, doesn't it use some of the same technology as the Xbox does? For the whole, when you kind of get in front when you're playing the video games and things like that.
Right, but this is, you got to kind of wave right on top of it. It's going to be a little more precise than the Xbox Connect. They're going to tweak a little bit, hopefully eventually to have a little bit larger space. Now, you can, in the Xbox side, they're working on some of those things for business. And the challenge is, I don't think they are as focused on it for business.
Gotcha.
It's a very gaming feature. I really like it because I think I'd rather spend a little bit more money if they have a developer side of it plugged in well. Then they'll be able to expand it. I think this is where Microsoft often falls short, is building that developer side out. And it's always been, hey, you want to develop software, go do it and just make it work. Instead of having some type of kit to really drive that. And we see that in the whole Windows side, how things have taken a little while to really pick up. They finally gotten the Instagram stuff. So on the Connect, where is that?
So now with this device with the Leap, what are we looking at from a price point?
$89.
$89.
Very cheap. Yeah.
Wow.
That's full retail.
Wow.
And I think Newegg is the exclusive online one, and you get an extra little bonus if you can do it through Newegg. I'll pull that up real quick for a second here. But I'm excited because there's some news now. They're really pushing the Connect side.
Okay.
To what degree, I don't know. Microsoft is in a lot of things, so we'll have to kind of wait and see on that. But I want to get the Leap Motion, but I like the whole fact that, hey, you can be a good ways distance
Yeah.
from the actual Connect, because it's a front-facing camera like you're seeing now,
Yeah.
versus sort of you got to hover on top of it. You're basically like the device for the Leap Motion is here, and you got to kind of move your hands that way.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check into more of this, because that definitely looks like kind of.
I'd love to have it for presentation. You know, we talked a little bit about presentations
Yeah.
last week and how to deal with that. So it's going to be interesting the next few years how that applies, and maybe if you can even tie it into a Google Glass environment. So, you know, sometimes it's just easier than voice command.
Yeah.
Or you are in an environment where you just can't talk it out, you know. And actually sometimes it's faster. Say if you want to just kind of scroll through things, you can just
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
So we'll see how that works, and I don't know what's the ability to be able to do that, but I'm anxious. I'm very, very anxious. There's the screenshot I was looking for, trying to find for you guys.
Yeah, I definitely think that the whole communication with your devices is, you know, it's definitely going more Star Trek-y.
Yeah. So this is a little low res, but you'll be able to do it. Even in the retail environment will be interesting. So when you go into, like this is one example of sunglasses, you know, hey, how does that look? You can see the woman is actually, now you can just, your picture's superimposed in it. You can kind of flip different sunglasses, and that is going to be really, really exciting.
That's cool.
Yeah. All right, so from these devices, you know, what can we control? One of the things that we want to look at is, hey, how does it tie into the retail space? There's going to be apps developed so that you can actually tie in. We talked this whole thing that I coined called, you know, preference unification.
Yeah.
Hey, how do you unify all your preference? You know, what beers do you like, or drinks you like, wines you like, and foods you like, and you can instantly go into a restaurant and have all those preferences fused together in some type of an electronic menu.
Okay.
I think that's going to be where all this stuff comes together. And one of the things we'd like to do on the show is how can you bring it together
Yeah, tie it all in.
and have things like streams, tying your Twitter stream in there, your Facebook, and then all your friends. How does all that tie? You'll be able to see it instantly on your glasses or your iPhone and, you know, Android devices, and that's what gets really, really exciting for me.
Gotcha.
Okay. Now, things, you know, why do I keep on talking about Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that still? And everybody's saying, well, Facebook is getting a little old, and, you know, that's fine and all. But one of the things I do want to share with you is Facebook still drives more traffic than any other social network. And we talked about Pinterest, how big that is. Let's just look at the overall web traffic, okay? The dark blue is 2012, the light blue is 2013, and it drives 10.4% of online publishing. Wow, it's insane. It just,
That's a
just
lot.
crushes everybody, right? The next one is Pinterest, and look at the rise. This rise is actually over about 1.5% increase year over year.
Yeah.
And Twitter, just, you know, obviously pretty prevalent. People will talk about it a lot, but doesn't drive as much traffic as you thought, you know? And then here's the rest, like Reddit and StumbleUpon. So these are, we don't talk as much about, but social bookmarking sites. YouTube, surprisingly, only drives 0.2 to 0.3%. And one of the big reasons why I don't think they drive as much, and which we encourage all our clients to do, is put the link in the description. Everybody, I mean, I see some big companies there, right?
Yeah.
They got these beautiful videos, demos, and essentially teasers on, you know, how you can sign up and how it's going to benefit your business. And I look at the description, and there's no link. And I have to, all right, I'll type it in.
You gotta go looking for it.
Yeah, you gotta go looking for it. Just put the link in. Somebody's copy and pasting in, but they forget to copy paste or just type in the web address.
That's funny.
Or even better yet, you know, one of the best practices we always believe is, you know, if you're, you know, for instance, your company, say you're talking about specifically managed services.
Yeah.
Not only put in tagba.com, but put in tagba.com/
Managed services, whatever it may be.
That specific page or landing page, so they can hit that
Yeah.
versus just.
Well, and that way you can also track your results and things like that.
Exactly. exactly. There's your Google Analytics or your web analytics can let you know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
So people are missing the boat here, and also it actually helps drive SEO when you put it.
Gotcha.
So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because you remember, I don't know if you remember all the days when they talked about backlinks and people trading links.
Yeah.
Now you're able to have links on very highly credible sites.
Gotcha.
And basically, it's just saying, oh my gosh, it's coming from these awesome sites, even though you're putting in there. People just, I don't think it's registered to everybody yet.
Wow.
Because, this SEO stuff, people just don't really.
Well, they don't have a completely an understanding of it.
And a lot of times they're not executing either, so they're just, they're not including, oh, we got the videos up, great, but hey, how does it help your site?
Yeah.
Overall picture. So, LinkedIn and then Google Plus. Google Plus is going to it's probably drive as much traffic, but they will still drive SEO. So if you can get +1s on there,
That'll be helpful.
yeah, I was hoping it was family, to tell you the truth. It was something another thing I didn't want to pick up. But hey, it's there. I get to coach people on it. That's the positive side.
Yes.
And we'll go from there. All right. Okay. Other things on the show I want to talk to you about is, Instagram. It's not on here because you really don't put links on it, but it does drive a lot of awareness, particularly in the whole under 30, under 25 something.
Okay.
If you have any of those as a demographic for you, holy cow, you need to get on there. And the hashtags, really understanding hashtags like Twitter hashtags, they hashtag that death on Instagram.
Yeah,
Even more so. They'll speak in all hashtags.
I actually have gone to some meetings and you'll hear people talking about this and hashtag that, in a conversation,
Right.
and it's funny. I mean, it's just changing the lingo of that younger generation.
Absolutely, absolutely. So now one of the other thing about the kids these days is they like these really short video clips. Okay, now you can do, I think, is it 15 seconds or 30 seconds max on Instagram these days, but where they really like to view their videos, their quick little videos, is on Vine.
Oh yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, Vine is what my kids are starting to use a lot, and they're sharing these stuff with me. They'll send it in a text message because they know I'm not really a heavy Vine user yet. And my goodness, just kind of like, people say, how do you have time for this? And I kind of correlate it back to what they grow up with. When we grew up, we were kind of encouraged to watch the news and then read the local newspaper, and then as we got a little older, we needed to read like the Wall Street Journal, and I know people who read like 2 or 3 newspapers a day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how the heck do you have time? And this is just what they grow up with. So again, Vine, if you are
And that's at vine.co.
yeah, vine.co. If you're new to
Not com, but co.
exactly, again, it's sort of the Twitter side, video side of Twitter, and I think it's like 30 seconds or so of quick videos, or what is it, 15 seconds? I keep on confusing which one's 15, which one's 30. Bottom line is really short clips.
Gotcha.
And essentially, think of Vine as the video of words.
Okay.
It makes sense to have it for Twitter.
Yeah.
Just quick, because people don't have time to watch a whole lot of things, and the attention span of that younger demographic is really short. So check out Vine, again, either Instagram or Vine. If you're in that demographic, you're going to want to really plug that in your system there. Okay? All right. Got a few minutes left. We are going to talk about Twitter. Twitter. I got about 10,600 followers now.
I think I got like 10.
I follow 7,000 some people, and I've been trying to prune my Twitter following. Okay,
You cut people out?
I'm cutting people out, man. I got to get focused and targeted, and I'm trying to get better streams and just make my Twitter feed a lot more sense. And there's a couple things that are available out there. First one I'm going to show you is, oh, by the way, this is brought to you by the Successful Social Media Dashboard. So again, we wanted you to help you manage your time, be able to have more impact, and the dashboard helps you distribute and manage things like Instagram, Google Plus, even now, all your LinkedIn groups, LinkedIn profiles, company pages, and so forth.
Gotcha.
And even better yet, generate reports out of it. But for managing things, I still manage my own, and sometimes I'm old school. I just use all these different things, and maybe it's just liking to have. Remember how I had all those devices?
I remember that.
I feel like I got to have all these types of different softwares. And what Sweepy does is it flushes out your unfollowers. So people who don't follow you back or reciprocate, you can find out who aren't reciprocating.
Okay.
Clean up the inactives. So if people haven't tweeted, say, in a year, they probably aren't really good connectors for you, influencers. They're not really probably listening at all.
Yeah.
And lets you manage that whole side a little bit better. So it's called a tool called Tweepy, and then Tweepy, TWEEPI.com. And then we got another tool here. The number of people, Untweeps. All right. It's called Untweeps, and you don't want to waste time really following people who aren't following back. And again, it's very, very similar in the other one. And you can also find out, this one's kind of cool, you can see who's blocking you.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's kind of neat. And it just might be just interesting just to run just to see that.
Yeah. And you can have unfollow, inactive, and zero tweet accounts. So if they haven't tweeted at all, you can find out those things as well. So each one's have a little bit of their strengths. Now this one has different plans and so forth as well. This one is Manage Flitter, okay? And this one is probably the most robust of the three, all right? But, of course, they kind of have less freebies and have more paid stuff. So you can have some of that account cleanup, which they talk to you about more. One of the things that doesn't have, that you got to go to the pro account for, is how to help grow your account with the full features.
Gotcha.
And then the business account, you have the analytics and reports.
Okay.
So if you're just focused on Twitter, this is kind of a neat tool for us. I don't need all the analytics and everything like that because our dashboard does it for you.
Yeah.
Okay. You can go with the freebie. If you have a lot of Twitters and you're really focused on Twitter, it may or may not be the plan for you, but it's a pretty cool tool just to kind of get a feel. And again, that's probably the more professional side. I would say, where did it go? For most of you, I kind of like Tweepy the best for just general things to do. Now each one has one of their new features and everything like that.
Now how much is this?
Oh, they all have free editions.
Gotcha.
Of course, this one, you got a premium edition too. They gotta make money.
Yeah.
I finally came to the conclusion that hey, I may have to pay for some of this stuff. Okay, so I think they just bumped up, so they don't have a freebie edition anymore. So I guess for some of you, if you really, really want freebie, you're gonna have to go to the Manage Flitter.
Gotcha.
So they definitely have a freebie. All right, but those are some great tools to really manage your Twitter, manage your following. A lot of times it's kind of tough because when you're new to Twitter, you only can follow a certain amount of people.
Gotcha.
Before they said you got to have people who actually follow you. You can't follow all these tons of people and have nobody follow you because usually that means you're a spammer. You're trying to just don't connect with people.
That makes sense.
All right. Okay, so coming up in the next week or two, I'm buying a little time because Thanksgiving is a little bit later, so we'll have an extra episode in November before Thanksgiving, which we normally don't. But that's awesome because it's going to let us give you the full resources and more time to be able to give you all these great holiday under 50, under 100, under 500 items that you're going to buy your Road Warriors. By the way,
I think I'll have more of a list under 500. I think than the under 25.
I will always take a tablet. I love softwares. Apple Cards are great too. So if you find a lot of value, feel like you should give me some love, hey,
That'll work.
Yeah.
The end of the $500,
yeah,
right?
And if you're feeling not so generous and budget's tight, that's fine. I could use another pair of those smart gloves that you can use.
Oh
Yeah, you know.
Did you wear yours out?
Yeah, I did.
Those are good.
And I like to actually, it's kind of nice. I like to put them in different pockets, and sometimes you forget.
Gotcha.
Different jackets.
You lose them, you
You
don't know
lose
where they
them.
are.
Yeah.
I understand that.
So, anyways, that's it for the show. Tune in next week. Same net time, same net station, 9 a.m. on Mondays. Look forward to changing up the show soon, so we'll tell you more about that as well. Till next time,
I'm Digital Knight Sean Francis.
and I'm Nhat Pham, the social media samurai. So we connect on LinkedIn, friend each other on Facebook, circle up on Google+. Follow Sean at TagVA on Twitter. Follow me, mention me. I promise I'll follow you back. So then, be mobile, be successful, and stay social. See ya.